I laid down and stared at the ceiling in silence. I knew that you were coming early, and I wouldn't have time to just lay there like that, doing nothing, again for a long time. I was only 19, but I was ready. Ready for the life of changing diapers and spending my days with my baby. I couldn't wait to meet you. I was 3 weeks before my due date, but you were ready to go. When I gave birth to you, you came so fast. I got to the hospital with no time to spare, and the doctor stepped into the room literally right before you popped out. The nurses were joking, that kid's never gonna sit still, and they didn't know how right they were, or that your greatest joy would be running. At that time, I just remember thinking, as long as my baby's got 10 toes and 10 fingers, it will be okay. That was my pain-riddled, sleep-deprived birthing brain, just worried about your digits. I didn't really think too much about what I wanted you to be when you grew up. What I desired for you was to always know that you were wanted and loved, and to be a good person, a good friend, a good partner, and to have self-confidence and respect for yourself and others. Those were my goals for you as a mom. Years later, when you were almost 14, after a few months of knowing that you were spending a lot more time alone in your bedroom, you came to me and quietly said, "Mom, I need to talk to you." I knew something big was coming, and I followed you into your room. You laid on your bed, silent and still, which was very unusual for you, and I laid down next to you, quiet and expectant. I had a good idea of what was coming, and I was not only ready, I was so excited I had butterflies in my stomach. But you were just full of nerves, fear, and teenage anxiety. After a while, I pushed. "Well, what is it?" And I could just feel you working up the nerve to get the words out. You whispered, "I'm a girl." I was so comforted to hear those words come out of your mouth. "I know," I said, and you gave me some impressive side eye and said, "No, Mom, I'm really a girl. I'm trans." I didn't grasp at the time how differently we were experiencing that moment. I only knew that I was blessed by you sharing, once again, your truth with me. And I repeated, "I know you are. Mom, I'm serious. You know I've been trying to grow out my hair again, and I don't like when you call me son." I couldn't hold back my excitement anymore, and I said, "Okay, so what do you want me to do? Do you want me to paint your nails? Do you want to go shopping? We can go right now. Do you want me to show you how to do makeup? I mean, I obviously don't know how, but we can watch videos together and we'll figure it out." Oh my gosh, Mom. This is a really big moment for me, and you're not getting that. I just came out to you as trans. Can you please leave now? "That's totally fine," I said. "In your own time, baby, of course. I will follow your lead. I just want to know if you want to go through my closet, and I just want to know your new name." I kept going on as you were pushing me out of your room and laughing. "Mom, just stop." "Okay, but what about just your name?" "Stop," you shouted as you laughed and slammed the door on me. I can't tell you what a relief that conversation was for me. I got a second chance as a parent. We don't always get second chances with our children, but I got one. You see, when my baby was just in 5th grade, she came to me asking a courageous question, and she said, "Mom, I'm a girl, so what do we do now?" I wasn't surprised by that question, but I wasn't ready for it either. And I said, "Well, why don't you hold on to that thought? And if you still feel that way in a couple years, we'll look into it." It is my biggest regret as a parent. I told myself that I was protecting you, but I know now that I was responding more with fear than love. And I was thinking less about what you needed and more about Gwen, my gorgeous and fierce childhood neighbor. I didn't know Gwen personally. She was the older sister of a friend of mine, but I got to hang out with her a few times on the schoolyard with our group of latchkey kids. Everyone knew about Gwen's journey, and she completely captivated us with how chic she was as a transgender girl. She walked through this world stylish, confident, and seemingly indestructible. But her brutal murder at the age of only 17 caused a trauma in me that I wasn't aware of, let alone had dealt with. It also devastated her family, her friends, and our community. The details that emerged about the mercilessness of the cowards that murdered her caused that trauma. I wish that I had had the support I needed to not let the horror over Gwen's murder unconsciously interfere with the way I showed up as a parent. My daughter tells me she doesn't remember talking to me about being a girl in 5th grade, and that she certainly doesn't hold it against me. But I've often thought of what it would be like if I had supported her gender transition before puberty, because she spent those next 4 years battling with her identity and the expectations that other people put on her because of her gender. And it left scars. I was so wrong, and I'm sorry. So when you invited me into your room years later, I was ready. I had slowly been doing my own research and educating myself as a parent. And I was also grieving the many ways that you had been suffering. And I was finally ready to welcome my daughter, my baby girl. I was so ready. Of course, at 14, you were just a kid trying to figure out who you are in this world with a loving but annoying mom. But I am so thankful that you trusted me and wanted me to be a part of your world as you blossomed into the intelligent, witty, humorous, kind woman that you are. And I am deeply blessed by the many ways that you have expanded my world and understanding of myself. It was my teenage daughter who reminded me of things I'd forgotten, freed my own self-expression, and gave me more confidence. In figuring out how to support you, you reminded me that women don't have to look, act, talk, or relate to others in a certain way to be valid as women. It was through you that I learned to love my curly hair and that I don't have to chase Eurocentric beauty standards. I don't think that anything could be better than being your mom. And the ways in which you growing into yourself has also liberated me. I don't mean to discount the struggles you faced or pretend that right now the world isn't an extremely dangerous place for trans people to simply exist, let alone flourish. I know as a multiracial woman how cruel society can be to anybody that's different, to anybody that challenges someone's narrow worldviews if they've been taught. And I know that people who look different can be a beacon for people projecting their insecurities and anger. I hope that you know that none of that distress is a reflection of you. I also know that it doesn't make it easier to deal with. I can't help but think back to some of the aggression you faced from adults when you were just a kid running on the high school track team. You loved to run, and you'd always been fast. But it was hard to show up as a boy, presenting as a boy on the boys' team in middle school. You just felt so uncomfortable in the boys' uniform, and you would keep your sweatsuit on until the last moment before the gun went off. And then after the finish line, you just keep running till you could get off the field. But you came into your freshman year of high school as your true self, with your real name, comfortable in your own skin, and delighted in your teenage girl hair and clothes. The girls' team quickly became your home at school, and practice was your favorite time of the day. You never missed a practice, and you would stay at school running until the coach literally kicked you off the field. I remember being in the stands before a track meet started. You were out on the field way too early, enjoying every bounce of your pigtails as you jumped up and down. You always insisted on running with your pigtails flying. And as you warmed up, a couple joined, standing next to me on the bleachers to watch their own child. And I listened as they went back and forth with the mother loudly complaining and declaring what she decided was a boy running on the girls' team. Her embarrassed husband tried to shush her, but she wouldn't stop. She kept getting louder and louder. My blood was boiling as I sat there listening to an adult talk shit about a child. My child who was finally just happy again. It's not right, the mother said smugly. It's just not right. There is so much that's wrong with this world, and it is not my daughter. I wanted to yell at her. Focus on supporting your own child so that she can be the best athlete she can be, and give my child a fighting chance at life. It is hard enough to be a high school girl, to be a transgender girl and survive high school. Do you understand what it does for a child to be ridiculed and ostracized? Almost half of trans children have seriously contemplated suicide. And over a quarter of them have actually attempted to take their own life. And now you want to take away the track team, my child's greatest joy, just because she maybe someday might beat your child at a high school race? As my daughter ran in that meet, I cheered for her as loudly as I could. I wanted all the parents in the stands to know that I was your mom. You were my daughter, and I'd heard everything. Everything. I will never know what it's like to walk in your shoes or to run in them when a few parents on your own team rooted against you. But I hope that you know that I am always glad to fight for you no matter what. It might be ugly or difficult at times, but it's a part of being a parent that I signed up for. While you were being attacked for running in high school, I made myself read some of the vile comments they were writing about you online. And I remember one in particular, meant to hurt, said, "What kind of a parent raises a trans child?" There were all these clueless, gross, arrogant responses to that question. But the real answer was obvious. What kind of a parent raises a trans child? A great parent. One that supports their child to be their true self and fights for their rights, and who helps them feel safe. The last few years have been a whirlwind of change with way too many attacks. And I now watch my beautiful, grown adult daughter skillfully navigate this world without her mom right by her. And I still often think of my childhood neighbor Gwen and the tragedy that can't be undone or softened. But I strive to honor Gwen, to be a little more like her, more confident, stronger, maybe not as chic, but I want to walk tall like she did. And although I can't forget the parents that bullied my child, I also think of the phone call I got from a fellow former teen mom letting me know that seeing my child at school as her true self inspired her own formerly timid child to blossom into the beautiful transgender woman that she is too. I think of the amazing LGBTQ adults and trans adults we've met at centers who provide kids, trans and queer kids, with a safe space and instill confidence in them. And of course, I think of how blessed I am to watch my own child become a strong, compassionate adult who cares for her community and keeps expanding my world and the joy it can contain. I try my best to keep up with her, but I'm ready or not, for whatever is needed, because I am blessed to be your mom and get to love you through it all.